Life is never about how smart you are, how rich your family is, or how lucky you become. Life is about choices, consistency, and habits. When I started Alibaba, I had nothing, no money, no connections, and no technology background. But what I had was belief, discipline, and daily habits that shaped my future. Today, I want to share with you what I call Jack Ma's ultimate success formula. 3 simple daily habits that can completely change your life forever. Don't think these are small. Small actions repeated every day become big results in the future. When you wake up early with purpose, you give yourself an advantage that most people never realize. Many young people love to sleep late, and they tell themselves that success is about working hard for long hours during the day or the night. But in truth, the quality of your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. In the early hours, the world is quiet. There are no distractions, no phone calls, no noise. Your mind is fresh, your body is rested. And this is the best time to think clearly. If you wake up 1 hour earlier than usual every single day, by the end of the year, you will have gained over 360 hours. That is like adding 15 more days to your life. Now ask yourself, what can you do with 15 extra days if you use them with purpose? You could read books, start a business plan, practice a skill, or even work on your health. This is why waking up early is not just about time, it is about creating opportunity. When you open your eyes early in the morning, don't waste that time on meaningless things like scrolling your phone or watching videos. Instead, you should ask yourself 3 questions. What do I want to achieve today? What can I learn today? And how can I improve myself today? These questions align your mind with your goals and force you to focus. Most people wake up and immediately rush into life without thinking. They let the day control them instead of them controlling the day. But if you spend just a short time every morning to reflect, you control your direction. This habit builds discipline, and discipline is more powerful than motivation because motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Think about the most successful people in the world, whether entrepreneurs, leaders, or athletes. Almost all of them have a morning routine. They wake up early not because they enjoy less sleep, but because they understand the value of starting the day before the world wakes up. That 1 or 2 hours of peace gives them clarity and focus, and this clarity gives them the strength to make better decisions. Life is full of choices, and if your mind is always tired or distracted, you make poor choices. But if you start the day with energy and purpose, you make smart decisions that lead you forward. Waking up early also teaches you something very important: sacrifice. It is not easy to get out of bed when it is comfortable, but every time you do it, you train your mind to choose discipline over comfort. Success is built on thousands of small sacrifices like this. You cannot expect to achieve extraordinary things if you are not willing to give up ordinary habits. Waking up early is a symbol of your willingness to do what others will not. When others are sleeping, you are preparing. When others are dreaming, you are building. But waking up early alone is not enough. You must wake up with purpose. Many people rise early but then waste their time. Purpose means you know why you are waking up. If your purpose is to improve your knowledge, you read. If your purpose is to grow your business, you plan. If your purpose is to take care of your health, you exercise. Purpose gives direction to your time, and direction creates progress. Without purpose, time is just wasted hours. With purpose, even 1 hour can change your life. The habit of waking up early with purpose also builds confidence. When you consistently achieve something in the morning, you start the day with a win. That small victory makes you believe that you can achieve bigger victories. This positive momentum pushes you through the rest of the day. You walk into your work, your studies, or your business already feeling successful. And this energy influences how people see you and how you perform. It becomes a cycle where one small morning habit creates confidence, confidence creates action, and action creates results. Would you like me to continue with the 600-word explanation of Keynote 2 in the same flow and style? Learning something new every day is not just a habit, it is a necessity if you want to grow and succeed in life. The world is changing faster than ever before, and knowledge that was valuable yesterday may become useless tomorrow. If you stop learning, you stop growing, and when you stop growing, you slowly begin to fall behind. Success is not about having a big degree or a famous certificate, because those things can only help you to a certain level. True success comes from continuous learning, from the hunger to improve yourself day by day, and from the ability to adapt to new situations. When I was young, I failed many times. I was rejected by schools, by companies, and even by KFC. Out of 24 people, 23 were hired, and I was the only one rejected. But instead of feeling sorry for myself, I learned from these experiences. I realized that rejection is a kind of education. It teaches you about resilience, patience, and self-improvement. This is why learning is not just about reading books. It is about observing life, reflecting on your mistakes, and collecting wisdom from every situation. If you face a failure, don't only ask, "Why me?" Instead, ask, "What can I learn from this?" Every setback becomes valuable when you extract lessons from it. Books, mentors, conversations, even competitors, all of these are teachers. Every day you should feed your mind the way you feed your body. If you go one day without eating, you feel weak. If you go one day without learning, your mind becomes weaker. And the truth is, learning does not always require money or a classroom. In fact, the most powerful learning comes from curiosity. Ask questions, seek knowledge, and never assume you already know enough. The most dangerous thing in life is not ignorance. It is the illusion that you already know everything. The world respects learners because they grow while others remain the same. If you improve just 1% every day, by the end of the year you are 37 times better than you were at the beginning. This is the power of compound growth in learning. Small, daily improvements create huge differences over time. People often underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years, but overestimate what they can achieve in 1 month. Learning daily is the secret to building a foundation for long-term success. Another truth about learning is that it keeps you humble. When you expose yourself to new ideas, new people, and new experiences, you realize how much there is that you do not know. This humility makes you open-minded, and open-minded people are the ones who adapt when the world changes. Closed-minded people who think they already know everything will be the first to fail when the environment shifts. In business, technology, and even relationships, the ability to learn fast is the most powerful skill you can have. Learning also builds confidence because knowledge reduces fear. Many people hesitate to take action because they are afraid of the unknown. But when you study, research, and prepare, the unknown becomes familiar. Knowledge gives you the courage to step forward when others step back. It turns doubt into clarity and clarity into action. Without continuous learning, even the most talented people can lose their way. But with continuous learning, even ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results. To make learning a habit, you must set aside time every day, just like eating or exercising. Even 30 minutes of reading, listening, or reflecting can transform your mindset. It does not matter if you are tired or busy. Those who succeed always make time to learn because they know that knowledge is the fuel for their journey. Just as you cannot drive a car without fuel, you cannot move forward in life without learning. And if you keep this habit alive, you will find yourself growing faster than you ever imagined. Do you want me to now explain Keynote 3 in 600 words in the same Jack Ma style and flow? Taking action is the bridge between dreams and reality, yet most people never cross this bridge. Everyone has ideas, everyone has dreams, but very few people turn them into action. The truth is that ideas are cheap, execution is priceless. You can sit in your room all day and think about becoming successful. But unless you get up and do something, nothing will change. Action is what separates the talkers from the doers, and in the end, the world only remembers the doers. When we started Alibaba, people around me were full of doubts. They asked, "Jack, how can you build an internet company when you don't even know much about technology?" I said, "I don't need to know everything. I need to act. If I had waited until I knew everything, I would still be waiting today." This is where many people fail. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect conditions. But there is no perfect time. If you wait until everything is perfect, you will never begin. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates results. Every small action you take daily builds a foundation for your future. Maybe today you read one page of a book. Maybe you call one customer. Maybe you practice one new skill. At the moment, it feels small and insignificant. But success is nothing more than small actions repeated every day. Think about water dripping on a stone. One drop means nothing, but millions of drops over time can cut through rock. Your actions may feel small today, but over years they create breakthroughs that nobody thought possible. Taking action also teaches you faster than any book or classroom. You can spend months studying how to start a business, but you will learn more in 1 week of actually running it than in all those months of theory. Action brings real problems, and real problems bring real solutions. That is how you grow. People who are afraid to act often fear failure, but failure is not the enemy. Failure is simply feedback. Each time you fail, you discover what does not work, and that brings you closer to what will work. If you never act, you never fail, but you also never succeed. Another important part of action is consistency. It is not about doing something once in a while with great effort. It is about doing something every day, even if it is small. Consistency beats intensity. One person may run 10 kilometers once a month. Another may walk 1 kilometer every day. After a year, the second person is far ahead. Success is not about bursts of energy. It is about steady progress. Action is like planting seeds. You cannot plant today and expect fruit tomorrow, but if you water the seeds daily, one day the tree will grow. Action also builds confidence. Many people lack confidence not because they are weak, but because they never act. When you act, you prove to yourself that you can move forward. Each step gives you courage for the next step. Confidence is not built by thinking, it is built by doing. Even small wins create a sense of achievement, and this achievement fuels your belief in yourself. Over time, this belief becomes unshakable. And that is what gives you the power to take bigger risks. You must remember that action is not always about success. It is about movement. Even if the result is not what you wanted, you are still further ahead than those who never started. The habit of taking action trains your mind to focus on solutions instead of excuses. Excuses will always keep you where you are. Action will always take you somewhere new. And as you act every day, opportunities will appear that you could never see while standing still. Do you want me to now explain Keynote 4 in 600 words in the same style and detail? Failure is something most people fear, but in truth, failure is one of the greatest teachers you will ever meet. When you fail, life is not ending, life is teaching. Every rejection, every mistake, every disappointment carries a lesson hidden inside it. And if you have the patience and the courage to learn from it, you become stronger and wiser. When I was young, I failed many times. I failed my entrance exams. I was rejected from jobs. Even when KFC came to my city, out of 24 people, 23 were hired, and I was the only one rejected. At that moment, I felt embarrassed. I felt frustrated. But looking back now, those failures prepared me for the future. Without those failures, I would not have developed resilience. Without resilience, I could not have built Alibaba. Failure humbles you. When you succeed, you may believe you are the smartest person in the room, but failure reminds you that you are human, that you still have much to learn. This humility keeps your mind open, and an open mind is a growing mind. People who never experience failure often become arrogant, and arrogance blinds them to reality. But those who fail and rise again carry wisdom that success alone can never give. Failure teaches patience because it takes time to recover. It teaches problem solving because it forces you to ask, what went wrong? What can I do better? Every failure adds a layer of experience, and experience is more valuable than theory. Many people fear failure so much that they do nothing. They stay in their comfort zone because they don't want to be embarrassed or criticized. But avoiding failure is the fastest way to avoid success. If you never fail, it means you are not trying anything new. You are not pushing your limits. You are not growing. Failure is a sign that you are in motion, that you are exploring unknown territory. And in that territory, you discover new skills, new opportunities, and new strengths within yourself. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who fail many times but never give up. When you treat failure as a teacher, your perspective changes. Instead of saying, I failed, you say, I learned. Instead of saying, this is the end, you say, this is the beginning of another path. This mindset is what separates the average from the extraordinary. Think of every failure as a test. Life is asking, how serious are you about your dream? Will you quit or will you continue? Those who quit never discover how close they were to success. Those who continue realize that failure is not a wall, it is a stepping stone. Failure also prepares you for bigger responsibilities. When you fail in small matters, you learn lessons that prepare you for larger challenges. If you only succeed in small matters, you may not have the strength to handle big challenges when they come. But if you have already faced failure, rejection, and struggle, you develop a toughness that no book can teach. This toughness becomes your armor when life throws difficulties at you. In business, in leadership, and even in personal life, the ability to handle failure calmly is what earns respect from others. Another benefit of failure is that it shows you who your true supporters are. When everything is going well, many people will stand beside you. But when you fail, most will walk away. The few who stay are the people you can trust. Failure cleans your circle. It reveals the truth about relationships, about loyalty, and about trust. In this way, failure saves you from bigger disappointments later. Instead of hiding from failure, welcome it as part of your journey. Understand that every person you admire today has failed more times than you can imagine. Their success is built on lessons learned through pain, rejection, and mistakes. The only difference is that they did not let failure stop them. They used it as fuel. They used it as guidance. And step by step, failure led them to success. Would you like me to continue with Keynote 5 explained in 600 words in the same Jack Ma style? Discipline is the invisible force behind every great success story, yet it is often underestimated. People admire talent, luck, or intelligence, but what they fail to see is that without discipline, none of these qualities can create lasting results. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It is the ability to stay consistent when others give up, the ability to keep preparing when nobody is watching, and the ability to keep pushing forward when the excitement is gone. Opportunities are everywhere, but only disciplined people can recognize and seize them because they are always ready. When I was young, I was not the smartest student and I was not the most skilled. In fact, I failed many subjects in school. But one thing I always had was discipline. When I set my mind to something, I worked on it every single day. I didn't rely on motivation because motivation is temporary. Some days you wake up motivated, some days you don't. But discipline does not depend on feelings, it depends on commitment. This is why disciplined people move further in life than those who only rely on bursts of energy. Success is not built in one day. It is built in thousands of disciplined days. Discipline also creates freedom. It may sound strange, but the more disciplined you are, the more freedom you gain. For example, If you are disciplined with your health, you gain the freedom to live without disease. If you are disciplined with your finances, you gain the freedom to live without constant stress. If you are disciplined with your learning, you gain the freedom to adapt to any challenge. Without discipline, you are always a prisoner of your own bad habits, but with discipline, you control your life and your future. The reason discipline creates opportunities is because life is full of chances, but only the prepared can use them. Imagine two people. One has been preparing consistently, building skills and practicing discipline every day. The other only wakes up when opportunity knocks. When the opportunity comes, the disciplined person is ready to grab it, while the other watches it pass by. Many people call this luck. But luck is simply when preparation meets opportunity. Discipline is what makes you prepared, and preparation is what makes you lucky. Another truth about discipline is that it protects you during hard times. When life becomes difficult, your emotions will try to control you. Fear, laziness, and doubt will whisper in your ear telling you to quit. But if you have built discipline, you don't need to listen to those voices. You continue your routine, you continue your effort, and eventually the hard time passes. Discipline is like a strong anchor that keeps you steady in the storm. Without it, you are like a small boat pushed around by every wave. With it, you can hold your direction no matter how strong the storm becomes. Discipline also builds respect. People may not respect you for your talent because talent can be natural, but they will respect you for your discipline because discipline is earned. Your team, your colleagues, and your family will trust you when they see your consistency. They know that if you commit to something, you will show up and deliver. This trust opens doors for leadership, for opportunities, and for growth. Finally, discipline transforms your identity. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief in who you are. If you say, I will wake up early, and you do it, you begin to see yourself as reliable. If you say, I will learn something new today, and you follow through, you begin to see yourself as a learner. This self-identity is powerful because people act according to how they see themselves. Discipline shapes not only your habits, but also your character, and your character shapes your destiny. Do you want me to now compile all F5 expanded keynotes into a full structured speech in Jack Ma's style so you can use it as one complete piece?